Ew. And Birdicus, Nick. Well, we are into Division 2 here, so the teams have been around for a little bit longer, I believe. Guys, I totally forgot to unmute you.
Ah!
So it was just me talking. All right, go ahead, say everything you just said.
All right, welcome, round two to everybody. Tonight we have a best of three between Trog Squad and Party Bush at your mom's house. Tonight you'll have three casters from Heroes of the Frat, myself, Balanon, John,
Cody, which I'm the tat.
And Birdicus, Nick, who you already heard because I was talking to myself.
Yeah.
So hopefully the games will go better than how we started off the stream here. So we are starting off on a Battlefield of Eternity to open a best of three. Not something we typically do. That's normally our fall to for game number two. So I'm excited to see what the teams can bring to Battlefield of Eternity.
Yeah, I am excited too. Battlefield is a map where you get to see a lot of interactions that you don't normally see because you have that four-man forced lane. Normally, you have a 4 and a 1, so that four-man forced lane gets a lot of fights and early aggression off that you don't get to see on other maps. So it makes Battlefield really exciting to watch early on. And other maps, you wait until the objective spawns or the first shrine or whatever. And this really gets those fighting that happens right away. So I really like this map for that aspect.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how the teams go about this. Are they going to purely go for the immortal, or are they going to go more towards the overall team fight aspect? Because both are pretty viable team options, and it really just plays into what your team is comfortable with, which I do think is a great opening map for a best of three series. You tend to learn a lot about your opponent's team on Battlefield of Eternity because it's a two-lane map. It's not very big, and you can definitely get some rotations in on teams as well.
Yeah, I completely agree. And you will see the prioritized heroes pick. Like I've said it several times, I'm not going to jinx it, but Sylvanas is a really high pick on this one.
Yeah, you had to go there.
Yeah, but you do see, like a lot of people, you're either going to prioritize the damage for the immortal, or you're going to prioritize a comp that can defend and push with it. So a lot of times you'll see Greymane will come out really early. Vala is extremely strong on this map. You'll see Vala come out. ETC, just any tight corridor heroes too. Malf, Diablo, that same, the same four showing their faces. Usual suspects, as we call them, always popping up in Hero League and Team League, really shine in this map. So it's a map where you see a lot of meta picks along with those couple little swappy picks like Greymane and stuff where they just do so well on this map.
Yeah, I would like to see Greymane come out here. He just does so much damage in a team fight and so much damage to the immortal. So he's kind of one of those combo picks that you can definitely see prioritized. I think Diablo would be a great pickup early on here. That APOC can really mess some teams up in that early team fight engagement while you're still kind of feeling the other team out. So we are kicking off here, Trog Squad, with the initial ban.
Hey!
There it is. So they recognize Sylvanas and they want to get rid of it. Can't blame them there.
Very good choice. Sylvanas Rag. Like Rag he is good on this map, but he's not as good at doing damage to the immortal, so sometimes you don't see him banned as much, but he's such a strong solo laner that you do ban him for the fact that you don't want that solo lane to be so powerful and him to be able to solo defend immortals because of his passive. But
Yeah,
we've seen
his
Artanis
trait
ban.
can definitely solo defend, especially that first one. We do see the Artanis ban followed by a very quick KT pickup. So a little strange, I'm not going to lie. I do understand the KT pickup, a lot of damage. Unfortunately, that does leave Ragnaros open for Party Bush, and they capitalize on it.
Yeah, and Artanis is a ban you do see because that blind can just shut down damage on immortal. But going to KT first pick, and then you're going to get Vala Ragnaros counter picked on you. They now have one of the best damage dealers to the immortal, and they have one of the best soul laners. So Trog Squad's gonna have to something up their sleeve here, maybe an ETC mouth to kind of counteract this powerhouse that just happened on Party Bush.
Yeah, I would like to see ETC picked up here. Vala, just so much damage to be able to go out on the immortal in a very short amount of time. You can actually defend as 4 and just put Vala attacking the immortal, and most of the time you can come out positive on that trade. So I'm a little surprised to see Falstad picked up here this early. I don't think he was in jeopardy of being banned out on this sort of map.
Yeah, he is. Something that has been happening is you'll see Falstad picked with Hinterland Blast, and when you get those tight corridors with 4 or 5 people running them, you'll just see a Falstad Hinterland Blast that lane and then have almost an instant cooldown and just can continuously Hinter Blast. So you do see that every now and then, and that's why Falstad in that fly-up threat to kind of counteract Ragnaros. So I would expect Falstad to be in the bottom lane and then flying up to counter Rag, or flying up to get those picks on Rag. So maybe that's what they're going for, Trog Squad.
Understandable to see the Varian ban come out here. A taunt on Vala or even a Colossus smash on Vala can definitely take Vala out of a team fight. I'm surprised to see the ETC ban come out of Trog Squad here. They must be... I
I
think they're leaning towards trying to pick up Diablo here late?
Yeah, I think they were just
Johanna?
worried. I think they're worried of giving the ETC. Like, ETC would be great for their team, Trog Squad, but I think ETC would be great on Party Bush. So I think just getting rid of it and being safe in that aspect is strong. This leaves you don't have that many tanks left, which is you have the Murden, Johanna, and like kind of off-meta tanks. Diablo is still there, but you don't want a Diablo solo tank normally. You can. It's not something you normally want to do. So we're going to dive into the tank pool a little bit and see what kind of tanks they have. And here's that Diablo.
Yeah, I definitely like this Diablo pickup here by Party Bush. If you can land any sort of an APOC or a Sulfurous Smash follow up on an APOC, I think would be a very good combination coming out for Party Bush with that Vala DPS.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And Lucio, which I thought the ban might have been for Lucio, is what they were going to go for. So, and they didn't. The Trog Squad, I thought they would ban Lucio instead of ETC there, but I could see why they want to ban ETC.
Yeah, well, they Party Bush may have been setting up that Lucio pick with Varian banned out as well. So we do see Johanna picked up and Dahaka, which then probably leaves Dahaka as that solo lane and allows Falstad to fly up like you're talking about. So I was curious who they were going to pick up as that split laner, recognizing Falstad's fly ability.
Yeah, I completely agree. And they do go gray main, so they're going straight. They definitely have the immortal race power. They can win that immortal race, no doubt about it.
That's a lot of damage between Vala and gray main. You can easily output half the immortal's damage in a blink of an eye.
Yeah, and so I think that Trog Squad's definitely going to have to be engaging on them, maybe with Falstad DPSs down the immortal, but Falstad's DPS is kind of low on the immortal. I would expect him to go a Season Marksman build with auto attack to just try to get that extra damage off on the immortal, because I don't think Q build is going to do what you want in this team comp.
Yeah, Q build is not going to help you on the immortal fight, so I do think they are going to have to engage on Party Bush as often as possible during the immortal fight and try and get 1 or 2 picks and then fall back onto the immortal. I don't think they'll be able to take a straight fight with that Vala Greymane. So I do think we may see a split build coming out of Falstad with the auto attack and the possible boomerang at 7
Yeah.
still is pretty popular, and it allows for a little bit of burst damage to come out on Greymane and Vala.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised by that at all to have that the Q at 7, the boomerang instead of secret weapon, and then the seasoned marksman at 1. I would expect that. And on blue squad, we have Donison on Dahaka, Lemonades on Johanna, Scotty that kid on Falstead, Shoddy Manger on Kale, and Malfurion on Murderface.
We have for Party Bush at your mom's house, Scathar on Greymane, Twinkle Talon on Diablo, Shamhat on Lucio, Teeth on Ragnaros, and Kojo Max 99 on Vala.
No. Just looking at early level 1 talents, he does go Q build, so Falstead goes with the Gathering Storm instead of Seasoned Marksman on this map, which it could work for him. Just got to see how he lines it up.
Yeah, I think the one advantage of the Q build on this map is when you're in that 4 lane, you have 4 bodies to get those stacks up as fast as possible. So you do see it come out every so often on a 2 lane map where you have that early 4 stack ability. So we'll see how he's able to capitalize on that.
Yeah. And this is a matchup top that Rag should win, even though he did go Meteor build. The Q build gives him a little more sustainability, but I think he should win that matchup fairly easily against Dahaka. Just Dahaka doesn't have the power to stay in lane with him.
Yeah, I do like Cocktail build coming out of Greymane and Convection coming out of Kael'thas. So we'll just have to keep a close eye on Kael'thas' stacks and see if he's really able to capitalize on that.
Yeah, Diablo gets a little caught in the bush hiding out there too long. They knew he was there for quite a while. So good catch up by Malf and the KTs. Gives some extra damage on him. And I am actually extremely surprised to see Vala not go Q build, not go Monster Hunter on this map.
Yeah, I do think that's a little strange just of how strong the Q build truly is on the Immortal race. They may recognize that they have Greymane. Maybe they're sharing that responsibility a little bit between there, but I do think Q build would have been a very strong build here.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you. I think you even want that burst from the Q build with Greymane. Like your auto attack build is not going to be doing the damage you want it to. Great lift up on Diablo. Diablo gets caught out and blown up. Nice lift into root, into condemn, into Q. So
and Ragnaros does fall in top lane to Dahaka, so definitely a misstep there to not be able to get out in time, but a great lick from Dahaka to be able to secure that kill.
Yeah. The crazy thing is I still think Party Bush will be able to beat this and win this Immortal race because of Greymane Vala.
Oh yeah, we see the power of just the 2 of them there. I mean, Lucio's there throwing some sound waves, but they do end up winning that, or no, barely losing that fight, but in a 5v2, we really do see the power of Greymane and Vala.
And good realization to see that the other team would defend, so they weren't there, but they are coming up on it. Diablo gets a nice
charge
on
by
Dahaka.
Diablo. Fortunately, unable to make the flip immediately following. He is very low, needs to get out of here.
Yeah, and Greymane's putting his damage out, Laval's putting his damage out, so good. It's just that Q build will be a little more helpful coming later. We'll see what they end up doing. I think Falstead needs to go back and start DPS. They do get a lift on Diablo, he gets caught out.
Getting caught out there. Kind of walking into no man's land and straight into a KT lift. A great job by Kael'thas there.
Yeah, and I think that's Diablo just trying to solo tank is going to cause those issues for a while.
So I do think this is the right call by Trog Squad, but it is painfully slow to watch Falstead being the only one attacking and having that 4-man defense.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. No, a good KT convection stacks right there. Free stacks all day. He's a halfway done with his quest already.
Yeah, everybody is extremely low on mana. Party Bush recognizing, hey, you got it this time. We need to go get level 4 ourselves and make that defense as strong as possible. You know, recognizing they have Ragnaros, they can trade on this and probably not lose too much to the first Immortal.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, and I think the only issue, you know, Ragnaros needs to get down here to defend this, but
okay,
Party
they
Bush
are going to switch Rag and Greymane, so it's a great call. They don't want to lose that soak, but they definitely need Ragnaros down here to defend.
Yeah, I think Party Bush, with the comp they have, they should be winning these Immortals, but Diablo is just kind of squishy for a solo tank, so we'll see if that comes back to bite him continuing through these Immortal phases.
Yeah, that's definitely something Trog Squad has picked up on, and they have punished so far, especially with Lucio not really having that burst heal capability. So they'll just have to really try and capitalize on that as the game continues, and we'll see if Twinkle Talent
good
can really settle in.
And Ragnaros is there, so we need to watch out, Trog Squad. Ragnaros is getting his damage out. Diablo's got Johanna kind of in a bad spot, but Johanna is able to D and walk away. So good notice, and they got their damage off that they wanted. Ragnaros did his job, though.
Yeah, something to note is they still do have about a level lead on Party Bush here, and when 7 comes into play, that definitely can favor Trog Squad. See if they try and capitalize on forcing some engagement here bottom.
Yeah, I completely agree. And now they're trying to engage 3 before they see the backup. Party Bush, get your spot. There you go. They have 2 top,
Yeah.
which is weird. I mean, maybe they're trying
I
to apply
think
the pressure.
Greymane needs to come back down now. You know, Ragnaros came up. Greymane needs to recognize that, come back down, and help defend the fort.
Yeah. Falstead is flying up to defend this. So we're not going to see a old-fashioned base race at all, but...
A little too early for that. A little too early.
Yeah. But we do see people just going for the camps. I think I think Trog Squad could have taken advantage of them being 2 top and pushing with all 5 of them down bottom, but they decided not to.
Or at least kept that 4-man push with that Falstead up. I do think Falstead needed to fly up, get that defense, kind of force them out a little bit, slow them down, but I do think instead of taking that camp this early, they could have kind of pushed the issue into that bottom fort.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Looking at builds, nothing weird coming out to me. Living Meteor build is, I mean, I can see why you want to go it, but Q build is just so strong in those tight quarters. I'm surprised Ragnaros doesn't go Q build here.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised to not see Boombox come out of Lucio. It is just very strong right now. Party mix is very good, but I just think with how melee heavy the team truly is, he could have got away with Boombox and not really had to get that extra range.
Yeah, that could be true.
Very good timing to get the Shaman camp coming out from Party Bush, and let's see if they are able to capitalize with the Immortal race.
Yeah, and we'll just see this constant defense from Trog Squad, which I think is what their team comp relies on, is that defensive. Diablo is low, so we'll see if he goes in here, if they'll just elect to back out and heal up. Greymane taking a lot of damage.
Do see Boomerang come out of Falstead, and that did end up chunking Greymane's health to half. Ragnaros getting
is
extremely low.
Yeah, Rag just got caught out into the stun of the Immortal, and it's just, you can't be there in that position. And without the Q build, he's just not going to generate as much health as he would, so he's not going to be able to sustain like that.
Yeah, Murderface on Malfurion had a great follow-up route, not necessarily underneath Ragnaros, but that zoning capability of Ragnaros, making him turn back into the team.
Yeah, Dahaka burrows bottom from maybe 5 feet
get
away.
picked off here. Oh,
Yeah.
Lucky to get away there, unable to capitalize it.
And he's on Falstead. We'll see if the stun gets off. The Immortal does stun Falstead. Falstead is caught, but they'll get good zoning for him.
Twinkle Talons is just too low. It's very hard for him to stay in a sustained fight.
Yeah, and them fighting on the Immortal is probably giving the advantage here, but they're getting really low. And
Oh, Vala being very aggressive.
oh, blind is out. Johanna will drop, though. Very good movement on the side of
All right,
Party
that's
Bush.
a good pick off there. I'd like to see Vala and Greymane immediately go up and start attacking.
And KT did just finish his convection, so he is going to be putting out a little bit more damage.
Yeah, very good by KT to get it done at the 8-minute mark. Very impressive, very safe play to this point. Dahaka coming in on that defense, and a great base push by Lucio to make sure that lick does not go off.
Yeah, Diablo's getting low, but he does get Dahaka. Dahaka burrows, good job. See if he can still get the stun. Stun's a little bit off-center, but Dahaka should fall, and Dahaka does fall. Good job by Vala, but Vala drops with a Q
Vala
from
does
Falstead.
drop to that Q build. Great job by Falstead.
Yeah, good noticing and getting that Q where it needs to be. Looks like Ragnaros is going to decide to go top to soak, but he's coming back in.
Yeah, one thing that I'm seeing quite consistently right here is Diablo is just staying at that half to a quarter health, and that's something that Trog Squad has been able to capitalize on.
Yeah, Lucio does not have the heals to keep him up, and Diablo being a solo tank, he's going to keep taking big chunks of damage. 10 is almost reached by Trog Squad, so Party Bush has
a
to do
great
something.
lift there by Kelthos, and we see the power of convection to come out.
Ragnaros does get low too, but Diablo is just squishy, and that's gonna keep happening. 10 is reached. I think Party Bush needs to back up and just take control, soaking those lanes.
Immediately backing up, immediately trying to soak whatever they can. Unfortunately, they have the lane push to the top fort. And I really think Rag should not extend out there. You got to play safe. Don't get picked off. And a great call, a great recognition by Ragnaros. They needed him for this defense.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Nothing weird on the talent choices. Again, adaptation, but people are going adaptation on Dahaka for the survivability, and Dahaka has been caught out a couple times, so I think that's a fine pick. Gust.
You do see Gust come out of Falstad instead of that Hinterland's Blast. How do you feel about that?
I think Gust with their team comp is not a bad idea because of that blow-up potential from Diablo and a flip into Sulfur Smash, so I think Gust is just showing that they don't want to get blown up. Ragnaros does get on the keep.
Oh, Ragnaros does get on the keep. There was a solid lick on Diablo. Unfortunately, with Ragnaros getting on that keep, the Trog squad was not able to follow up on that. Great use of Gust there to get... Oh, Dahaka does end up falling. Malfurion does use a Twilight, and it looks like they're on full retreat.
Yeah, all their ults are down, but they can pull this back and maybe get an engage they want. But Johanna is bot split pushing, so that Falstad will fall.
Oh, a great flip by Diablo there to force Falstad back into a Greymane.
Yeah, the Immortal will still push and probably get down this gate, but good engage by Party Bush to kind of push them off of this and not let them get more value.
Yeah, now do you think chasing the Falstad is worth losing your keep wall and keep tower?
In that case, I would say yes, just because they need... Like, they haven't been winning many of these fights. I think they needed that kind of kill and the feel of just, you know, getting that momentum in the direction where they're getting kills now. They know they can do it. So that the ability to get that kill and just show that they're doing it. Yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly.
We are going to see a little bit of a 5v5 skirmish. We do have a Blessed Shield coming out a little early by Johanna there. A little surprised to see that there. Might have been a panic hit there.
Yeah, and we'll see if Party Bush realizes that most of their ults are still on cooldown from that last fight. And they can do an engage
this is
here
a fight that
advantage.
should be engaging into. I definitely think they can win it here.
I completely agree, but it looks like they're content with just staying back. And now 13 is picked up, so a fight would be less in their favor.
Yeah, definitely don't want to take it now. I was thinking when you have that Lucio, you can get your Vala and Greymane on top of your opponent extremely fast, so that's something you definitely want to try and take an advantage of when you can, but definitely don't want to do it into level 13.
Something I see on Johanna that I haven't seen in a long time is Sin's Expose. The shield glare makes them take extra damage when they are hit. It's a very interesting talent, but it is good for KT because if you can shield glare for them, KT hits for, it's an extra, 100, 200 damage that'll be on every hero. Yeah,
I do like to see Backdraft coming out of Kel'Thas as well, recognizing that that'll counteract Lucio's speed just by a little bit, and anything that you can keep on top of a Greymane or a Vala with their low health pools, or even a Diablo, could definitely help pick up a kill for Trog Squad.
Completely agree. And it looks like Trog Squad's going to be okay with just clearing the wave and going to some sort of defensive movement here.
Let's see if they can pick up Johanna here. Being in that 4v1, definitely a dangerous place for Johanna to be, even with her D.
Yeah, and Cursed Bolt does hit and take a huge chunk of Johanna's life away.
Easily winning that initial fight. Let's see if anyone goes in recognizing picking up that top camp. It does look like they're going to allow that to push, not trying to clear that during the switch here. And both teams getting a defensive spawn. So we'll see who acts first.
Yeah, and I think this is on the part of Trog Squad. They want to get this engaged before 13 is picked up by Party Bush. Good roots down.
Great root follow on by a Convection coming out from that KT flank. Great
completely. Awesome job. And that shield glare does that little bit extra damage that finishes Vala off, so very good job.
Unfortunately, Rag did elect to go clear that top wave. I think he needed to come down sooner when the team got engaged on, as that was fighting into a 5v4.
I completely agree with you. And Diablo is going in. I do not think this is a spot Diablo wants to be in.
No, I would not recommend fighting in any choke points when you are down a hero, especially the power hitter of Vala.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, they're just really good rotations by Trog Squad, ability to recognize areas of weakness of Party Bush, and getting the advantage in those small points is giving them this lead. Every Immortal they're winning because of these little advantages.
I'm glad to see Greymane coming down and defending this. You definitely don't want this to get much farther than keep wall if you can keep it. I think we need to hold the trait until the keep, allowing the fort to get down and see how much damage they can do outright to it.
Here he goes. He is taking it, so I think this is a good idea for the position there. And Johanna is kind of in a stuck position right now. She is getting low. Rag will fall
very
pretty
good
quick.
dust to allow Johanna to get back out of there. The fort does end up falling. It is still full health Immortal, just the shield going down at this point. Let's see if there's a lick out on Greymane. Greymane does avoid the lick. Great convection on the gate, forcing all members of Party Bush to walk through.
Yeah, I'm very surprised we didn't see any ult follow-up. But he does get a flip on Johanna. Johanna is kind of in a bad spot, but she'll just D and walk away. So just got to pick a different target than Johanna. He will throw his APOC down, though, and get a 3-man APOC, but they're just too low to do anything about this.
Unfortunately, yeah, too low to do anything about it, and it was too far away. I think it was used kind of in a panic and not allowing the team to do much follow-on. Johanna is low, is going to use her D and barely gets out of there. Great silence by Malfurion, and a great route to follow on to make sure Johanna gets out alive, gets that full health, and they will barely defend the keep.
Yeah, I really think Vala not being Q-build and not getting that little extra burst damage on the people she's focusing is causing problems for their team comp. Oh, we have a Donison. Yep. We have a Donison that disconnected. Whew, a little break in the action for us.
Yeah, a little break in the action. I do think the other misstep of going the complete auto attack build into a Johanna is you see the blind coming out, and we have seen it in multiple team fights here where all of a sudden everyone is low, but they're just not quite able to finish it off. And I think, like you were speaking to earlier, I think that Q build would have been just enough burst damage to really power through and allow the Greymane Vala combination to be truly scary.
Yeah, and one thing, Malf, as you know, of playing many games as Malf, is that Malf has a hard time healing up a whole team, especially when he doesn't have Tranquility. That Q build is enough to just knock down every other hero, because it hits 6-7 heroes every time you throw it out there. You can knock them low enough that Malf isn't able to keep them up, and that gives you the ability for that Sulfurous Smash and stuff to do work.
Yeah, absolutely. And Sulfurous Smash is nothing to joke about. Very, very strong. I want to say kudos to Falstad. I think he's so far had a very good execution of his Mighty Gust. They have almost all been defensive, but I think he's gotten some very, very good value out of that thus far.
Yeah, I completely agree. And the one thing that Party Bush has the advantage in is that immortal damage, but they just can't execute it because of the great defense that's coming out from Trog Squad every time this immortal phase starts.
Yeah, Trog Squad is doing a fantastic job of defending, but then also defending while spread out, not allowing the APOC to get a combo, not allowing the Sulfurous Smash to get a combo. Let's see if we do end up getting a invade on their own, or if they're going to have to force to just give it up. It does look like they're going to have to give that Shaman camp up.
Yeah, and I think if Diablo had APOC, he might have been a little more gutsy there and went in and did that fight.
Yeah,
but
Diablo also was not in the bushes. It looked like he was still visible to them. So I don't know if that was possible misstep, or if he was possibly saying, "Hey, I'm here," trying to get them to voluntarily walk out of that. So something very interesting I noted there.
Yeah, I do like this double soak until you get 16 and fight at halftime. I think that's a good idea from Party Bush to do this.
Yeah, great recognition. Definitely cannot take this fight down 16. Unfortunately, there's not many left to soak. They are going to have to hopefully get it here. There it is at the defense. Unfortunately, too little too late, and they're just going to try and hurt the shield as much as possible.
Yeah, and Ragnaros just was not with them yet, and that was the issue. They couldn't go and engage that without Rag.
So I think at this point, I would like to see Trog Squad split and go bottom, allow the 3/4 health Immortal to push top, and really make sure you get that bottom keep.
Yeah, or at least have Falstead split down there doing it. I think if they don't, that would be just something they're not doing. If you have Falstead down there soaking and he flies up behind, or even Dahaka, you have double global. Just have them do
Yeah,
that
I
and come up
think this
behind.
is a point where they have that double global. They really needed to take advantage of it. So let's see if they're able to at least push through this keep and possibly end game if they're able to get a pick or two here. So definitely a strong 5-man push, and maybe that's what they're recognizing and trying to capitalize on.
And we do see Rag take the keep pretty early, but he does get a 2-man stun off. He's got good damage. We'll see if a Soul.
Oh, unfortunately, the missed synergy between Diablo and the Sulfur Smash coming out from the trait.
Yeah, Mouth does get a good silence, and Johanna follows him in, and Dahaka is chasing, not letting up. This is what they need to do if they want to get this win pretty early, but they got to be careful. Mortal still has full health. Dahaka gets flipped. Diablo is getting low on health. Dahaka's falling and gets the armor reduction on him and takes him down. And we got Ragnaros getting caught too by the Condemned.
Unfortunately, Vala is going to go, barely gets out alive. Great job by Vala to get back into the steps, but I think it's too little too late with the Immortal still at 3/4 health and all 5 up from Trog Squad. It does look like game 1 will go to Trog Squad.
Yeah,
great 5-man push there at the end.
Yeah, and I think it's, that knowing that they can win, they've been winning the team fights all game, and they have the ability to do it. If they can win that last team fight, they can win the game, and I think they knew that. They didn't want to give Party Bush a chance to come back from that game, so they just take that 5-man push and take advantage and get a kill and carry it all the way to the victory in game 1.
Yeah, very well executed. I have to give a strong props to the entire team of Trog Squad. They recognized that they were not going to win the Immortal phase straight up, but knowing that, did not give up an Immortal phase. I mean, they really did a great job of that early defense and forcing uncomfortable fights from Party Bush.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think they did a very good job about defending and just having the Falstead poke when he could. And then when they got a kill or two, then they all go back and attack. And I think that was something that was just really strong. Ragnaros rotated late quite a few times to those fights. Living Meteor, I don't think you wanted to go Living Meteor there. I think you go Q build. You have double tank. You go Q build, and you're going to regen so much health and deal so much damage to those tanks that you can do that. So I think, just not the best talents you could have picked from Ragnaros and Vala. And I think if they would have maybe picked some talents that were a little more becoming for that stage, the Monster Hunter and the Q build for Ragnaros, I think they would have been a little bit better off because they could poke and do a little more damage.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Q build on Vala is almost a must on this map. It is so strong, so incredibly strong on this map. And then on top of that, I think Falstead proved us both wrong with a great Q build game coming out of the Falstead and really being able to pick up that burst damage on both Greymane and Vala to really make them second guess staying in a team fight for too long.
Yeah, I agree. I still think he could have gone seasoned marksman at 1 and still gone with the boomerang like he did, and probably would have done as well, or if not a little bit better. But I think, he knowing that his Q build would be strong, he was getting hits, so he probably stacked his Q up pretty well. So definitely good job doing him. And I think Gus was a fine pick for that their comp, because if they engage with that Diablo flip, you can just Gus them away and be good. And I think that was a strong pick to take that over Hinterlands Blast.
So it does look like game 2 will be on Brax's Holdout. Another 2-lane map. So interesting to see a back-to-back 2-lane map. I'm excited to see Brax's Holdout, but it does again bring out a very strange 4-1 split. I do think we'll see Dahaka again here, and any of the globals. Falstead is very, very strong on this still.
Mm-hmm.
And, then
really
we have,
dark.
the classic Sylvanas, Gul'dan, if you really want to control a push or that strong defense as well.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm so dark here. I didn't get a heads up that I was as dark as I was. But my daughter turned my light off, but I'm good to go now.
I was going to say, you weren't when we started, but you are very dark now.
You can see my Protoss pylon, though, putting some light out there in the corner.
Probius is making an appearance.
Yeah. So
All right.
we'll see